Gimbal once again, one mind of its own. Don't know what the hell it's doing. Gimbal, straight, go straight. Go straight, gimbal. Right, there's nobody. Why is this fucking thing doing this to me? There's nobody actually on, so I'm not much sure there's much point in talking. It's about 1:05 Vietnam time. I don't have a clue where I actually am. All I know is that I've walked about 24 kilometers since this morning, so I'm 24 kilometers nearer. Hi Matt, how you doing? Are you in Cambodia? So all I know is that I'm 21 kilometers or 24 kilometers closer to Vung Tau than I was when I set off at 6 this morning. It's been a very interesting walk. It's very different to yesterday. It's countryside, very nice, quiet roads, but very weird. Very few rest stops. People have been very nice. People have been waving to me and saying hi. Fatties. Nice. I've actually had about 3 different people stop along the way. The first one was quite an attractive young female who stopped to offer me a ride on her motorbike, Matt. And I explained to her I was walking from Ho Chi Minh to Vung Tau, so I couldn't accept the ride offer. She looked pretty confused why I was walking from Ho Chi Minh to Vung Tau, and I probably looked a bit confused why I didn't accept the ride from her. And then there's very few rest stops along the way here, but there's road markings which you can sit on, and a lot of them around the trees. So I've been doing that to get a bit of shade. And this couple came from across the road. I'm not quite sure if they were a couple or not. The guy looked very, very dodgy. The Giro asked me what I was doing and what I did for a job and all that kind of shit, which was none of her business. She then asked me if I liked art, which again is none of her business. And I don't particularly like art, it's not my thing. And then she said she was in the education field and wanted to get my phone number so I could help teach her students, which seemed very strange to me. So, well, I didn't give her the Peter Nicholson F off. She definitely got a hard no. And the third guy who stopped was how you doing? Was an Aussie guy. And he drove by me and he sort of looked and said hi, and I said hi, and 10 minutes later he was back behind me, and the Aussie guy also offered me a ride. I'm not sure where he was going to take me for a ride to, but Matt, maybe being an Aussie, I also graciously turned that one down. So it's been a long day. Still fucking, this gimbal is driving me nuts. But it's been interesting. I'd never got the ferry across to Can Giao before, and actually I don't know if I've ever been to Can Giao before. So I quite enjoyed that. The walk's long. I think I still got another hour and a half to go to where I'm staying, which is called, I can't remember now, Sailing House, I think. Julia found it, and Ivan also found it. First time Ivan's done it, and good. I don't know where I am, James. I'm somewhere on Kanjao. I couldn't tell you the exact location. Just glad to still be walking, to be honest. I'm on the way to the floating house, yes, Van Eyck, that's the name of the place. I'm on the way to the floating house. Trying like hard to how to control this fucking gimbal thing. So I was going to talk a bit about. I said yesterday I'd do a live stream from District 4, and I was going to talk a bit about my job and what happened. And I think if any of you have watched the live stream, one of the reasons for this is mental health. I'm very passionate about mental health, and not I'm not passionate about being a nutcase. I think Thomas, with you, Matt, he could probably teach you more about that. I'm more passionate about good mental health, and I think work is a big factor in that. So as I said before, I'd been on really strong antidepressants over the last 9 years, 10 years, 9 years, and I've just come off them 2 months ago. And one of the ways that I'm dealing with this is through walking. It's always been a good thing for me. It's always when I've get time to think, and I always think there's interesting things to see and things that make you smile. Especially that young girl who offered me the ride, that did make me smile. But I was going to talk about how it works. So I work for. I'm going to say the name because I'm not going to say anything bad about the company, right? So I work for a company called Arup for 10 years in Vietnam, and I had the title of General Director, which is a very Vietnamese title, but you can say what you want about it as General Manager or Managing Director if you really need that ego boost. And I did that for 10 years, and I was also the chairman of the Cambodian business, I think, for 4 years, which sounds really, really grand, but it was a business of about 5 people. Although I really think that business has so much potential. So I was on what was called a long-term assignment, and I was meant to be for 3 years, and actually I was in my 10th year of it. And I told I was asked to stay on to September 2025, and I told my boss, no, I'm going to step down in March, which is this month. And if there's no other roles, then fair enough, we move on, shake hands. Unfortunately, for whatever circumstances, that boss disappeared, and another one came in and didn't honour that agreement. And it was a business I was really proud of, you know. When I went into in December 2014, and when I went in, it had a very strange number of people, which is 39. And we built it up to almost 100 before the government decided to go in its big crackdown that really impacted all of the construction projects. We did have a fair of what I will refer to as toxic employees, and I'm not going to name names, right, because every company's got them. But I will say something, right? See if you're one of those guys or girls, and you find that you're working against your boss, or that you're working against a company for whatever reason, right? You think you should be the guy in charge. You just don't like the boss. You don't agree with the direction of the business, whatever the reasons. I see what you should do is grow some fucking balls and resign, right? Because people like you destroy things. You don't do anything that's good. And all you do is hurt your colleagues, hurt your business. But the lucky part of it is you hurt yourself, because when it comes to needing references, when you're inevitably found out, usually the people that realise the behaviour are the people that you're going to rely on. And for references and you're not going to get them. So just that little bit of anger I had to get out there, because I really despise people like that. If you're taking the money, do the job. If you think you can do better, go elsewhere. So anyway, back to the story. So instead of honouring the agreement that I had with the company to stay until March, the new guy decided that he wasn't going to do that, but he did it. I had 10 great years on Arup, right? I'm not going to say anything bad about him, but he did it. He did it so badly that he came over to Vietnam, and what he said, that actually I went home to Julia. I said, I think I've been made redundant, but I don't know. Maybe it was that badly done. And he had to call me a week later and clarify. And things weren't done very well, I have to be really honest. To the point where, you know, if it continued down the path it was, it would have got pretty nasty, right? Fortunately, some other people saw what was being done and stepped in, and the company did the right thing, and I appreciate that. But I think what I did, Arup was going through a restructure anyway, and it had been going on for far too long. And I did a couple of talks at senior levels on redundancy and the impacts of redundancy, especially on mental health. And I think if you're ever in the position of any of it, you're the guys that are making people redundant, for example, do it properly, right? There's no need for people to feel shafted or to, of course they're going to be disappointed or they're going to be hurt, but there's no need for people to feel shafted or that they have to fight for what they're due. But also, if you're the person that's doing it, right, you remember the impacts on the other people in the company, right? People losing colleagues, people losing friends, people's workloads increasing, people worried about if they're going to be the next one. So if you're in that position of doing that, think it through, right? Don't just do it. And I know mine was not thought through. There was no consultation. It should have happened with other people in the company, etc. My staff did write a letter to the chairman of Arup, and the nice one signed it, and that was something I really appreciated. But honestly, a lot of our identity is tied up in our jobs. A lot of our social lives are tied up in our job, and I don't just mean going out in the piss. I mean, like just day-to-day chats with people, etc. So when you're taking away somebody's job, you're taking away more than just their income. You're taking away a whole network. So think about it, and do it decently. And if you're an employee and you get made redundant and it's done properly, walk away with your head held high, all right? So that's my wee lecture for today, right? But I'm going to tell you the positive things. I thought it would be a disaster for me, right? I don't really have any hobbies. Work was sort of it, right? Work and family. I was spending 2 weeks a month in Cambodia because Thomas deserted me. And I thought there's going to be this massive hole in my life to fill, right? And it's not been like that so far. I'm so glad to be away from the toxic people. I'm not joking. I don't have to put up with all that shit every day. And I didn't realise how much it was making me angry, and it really was making me angry. I'm enjoying the walking, although, to be honest, I'll be enjoying it a lot more when I get to the destination. I've taken up cooking. I've taken up pickleball, which I'm absolutely shit at. I play with all these French guys and they ooh la la all over me. But I'm actually really enjoying it at the moment and making the most of it. And part of the reason for this walk is actually to think about what am I going to do next, because I'm at a funny age. We're 58. I've got friends, you know, who are lazy, who have taken early retirement and are really enjoying it, but I don't really feel I'm ready for that, especially with young kids. So part of the reason for the walk is just decide what am I going to do next. So I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's really important, because I think in Vietnam things have been so unstable over the last, well, it's always unstable, right? I mean, let's face it. But particularly since the Madam Lan incident and the big corruption scandal that caused, things have been really unstable for all of us. So I think, you know, think of the consequences before the actions, I think is what I'm saying. What else was I was going to say something else. I can't remember it. Nah, I'm out of brain power. I tell you what, I don't know if you guys have this problem with iPhone, right? But I bought a new one not so long ago, and I thought it was just my old iPhone. But see, when you're in sunlight, you can't fucking read the screen. I don't get it. Does anybody know what you do about that? It's so annoying. So I can see the comments, but I can't actually read them. So I'm not being rude and ignoring you. I just can't answer the comment. I can't see them. So I think I've got about another hour and a half to walk to the floating house. I'm wondering if I'll be offered any more rides. Probably not. The road looks a bit more quiet here. So I just wanted to sort of get that off my chest and let anybody know who's interested what actually happened. But it's a relief in a way. I never thought it would be. And as I say, life's good. What is interesting is that nobody was brave enough to come on this walk with me. You all wimped out. So Matt Thomas and Joy Fatties. The rest to Ron. Thanks for joining. Shut it, you! Some prick beeping his horn at me. Today I've decided not to follow YouTube guidelines because I see other people on there swearing. Some people beep it out. I don't get it. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining. There won't be another live stream today because yesterday's was so boring because I was absolutely knackered when I tried to do it. I'm really hoping there's a swimming pool at Floating House so I can get some muscle relaxation. But if not, I'll be in bed. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to send Julia some flowers or champagne on my behalf since I never asked you for charity money. Okay guys, all the best. Thanks a lot. Take care.